assume you're in the market for a brand new premium electric scooter. What's the chief concern on your mind? Is it more range? Well, research seems to suggest you don't really need more than 40 kilometers a day. Is it greater power? Thanks to scooters like the Ather 450X, you have plenty of juice for a spirited city commute. No, if you've been following the news cycle, then what you're really after is the promise of better thermal management, a better, smoother user interface, and greater performance. At least that's what Ather Energy seems to think, which is why they've provided this timely update to their flagship scooter, the 450X. So this right here is the new old Ather 450X. I say old because overall design hasn't really changed. In fact, design changes are fairly minimal, and we'll get into that a little later, but it looks like Ather believes in the don't fix what isn't broken philosophy, and well, it worked for the Porsche 911, it works for the Mercedes G-Wagon, so there's no reason it shouldn't work for a design that's as future-proof as this. So, the big question is, what has changed, and is this a significantly better scooter than it was just a few months ago? Let's find out.
To make this simpler, let me break down what has and hasn't changed about the third generation Ather 450X. Arguably, no, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the best performing electric scooter currently sold in the country. Things that have changed. The battery. It's now bigger by over 1 kilowatt hour, going from 2.6 kilowatt hour to 3.7, which means 25% more capacity, 25% longer life, and a true range. That's Ather's trademark term for the actual real-world range, having gone up from 85 kilometers to 105 kilometers. Things that haven't changed. The electric motor and the overall body design. Except there are a few tweaks there as well. You've got a new set of rear view mirrors. Not the most exciting visual change, but the last one had a few blind spots, especially for taller people. So now you've got these big floppy ears that help you see all the way back into last week. Things that have changed. The tires. The Gen 3 model features a wider rear tire profile which offers more grip and therefore better cornering ability. It's been co-engineered with MRF and actually offers greater rolling resistance. But with a bigger battery, the loss of range is minimal, and thanks to the scooter's taut aluminium chassis and a sticky set of tires, it corners and handles like no other e-scooter in the market. And sure, there are other features like a new integrated side step, a new detachable storage pocket at the front and back, all this really trivial, boring stuff that brands like to go into to fill out new brochures. The real, more exciting changes, however, lie underneath the surface. To begin with, there's that larger battery sitting underneath the floorboard. The riding position is, of course, a little higher than it would be on a regular petrol scooter, but the 450X still manages to feel fairly adept, compact and easy to maneuver. Torque levels remain identical to the previous version, with the battery's added juice now focused on extracting more range out of the scooter. There is, however, a mild increase in power, going from 6 kilowatt to 6.2, but it isn't significant enough to make the 450X feel palpably quicker than the previous one. So, why go for a bigger battery pack? Well, the answer is simple. For one, it means being able to go longer distances in cities without charging the scooter, and two, to be able to sustain high speeds in its two performance modes, Sport and Warp, for much longer periods of time. This automatically has a positive effect on the scooter's management of battery temperatures, with more battery cells now employed to extract the same levels of power. Another not quite visible change is one that's been made to the scooter's user interface. While it still gets the same touchscreen unit, the brand has provided a good 2 GB of additional RAM and 16 GB of additional storage space. Why? Well, for future software optimization through over-the-air updates. Ather, like many makers of premium e-scooters, believes that an e-scooter only gets better with time, thanks to timely OTA updates, and the added space is there to accommodate upcoming features like voice commands, offline maps, and sharper looking graphics. For now, you're given the same interface which feels slightly smoother to use. During the ride, Ather's range meter proved to be pretty accurate. The new Smart Eco mode is designed to be the most conservative one, capping the speed at 45 km per hour on regular roads, while steep inclines limit speeds to about 25 km per hour. Switch to warp mode though, and the range drops down considerably while the performance picks up. Thanks to a dual disc brake setup, the Ather 450X feels very easy to control, its lithe chassis and wider tire allowing you to take corners far more aggressively than before. Ather has also calibrated the riding dynamics of the Gen 3 450X based on several kilometers of riding data that it's gathered from customers over the years. Scooter is heavier by 4 kg, but weight on the whole is very well managed. Having said that, the ride position might feel slightly awkward for taller riders.
So from the looks of it, Ather Energy seems to have addressed the main needs of the hour. You have a little more range now. Although range anxiety was not a big consideration, this is still very much a city scooter, mind you. So a real world range of about 105 is pretty good. They're also expanding their charging network, and on the whole, I think we'll be able to rely on their public infrastructure more as time progresses. Demands for scooters like these is growing very high, and in fact the only issue that Ather seems to be facing right at the moment is that they can't supply these fast enough, and they can't scale up at the pace which they were expecting. Let's not forget, Ather has experienced an 800% year-on-year growth in this last 1 year alone, having sold over 3,200 scooters. So from the looks of it, once again, they don't really need to drastically change the scooter. Its design, it's been working very well for them so far, and going by all the elements that they have tended to in this case, I think the demand is only going to get much higher.
In conclusion, Ather's faith in incremental change appears to have paid off, with a scooter whose range is now on par with that of its biggest competitor, the Ola S1 Pro. Furthermore, the Gen 3 450X is a canvas of sorts, upon which Ather Energy will further optimize its flagship product. In the coming months, you can expect more features, better power management, and an all-around smoother ownership experience.